Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well this morning. So, good morning. Good morning, Natasha. It appears as though the curator and his friends are off planet. I've been listening to this curator trying to convince people within the territory of this magistrate, this dignitary, this new territory, that this curator is still trying to convince the masculines within the territory that she takes medicine, therefore he has the right and the privilege to harvest, to interfere. And they're like, so he's looking for a Judas. He's looking for a way to get back in. Man, this is going to have to be monitored. Thank you. Thank you. Well, everybody, welcome to the channel. Let's go ahead and tap in and see what storyline Spirit would like to share with us. There's been some magnificent changes. There's going to be a great falling away this winter. It seems that in the Spirit, the judgment has already been completed, and there is just retribution now. The retribution for Divine Feminine, as that these RAPs, SEX trafficking mofos get off the planet. It seems that the majority of them have been removed. However, there are still some masculines here that are putting up with the Marys for a while they communicate with this curator off planet or interdimensional or whatever, and try to figure out how to remove this woman. There is a feminine leader here that has vowed that this is temporary and that they will be flipping and copycatting this dignitary. So they're setting themselves up for failure by even setting the intention for such things. They will be discovered, most likely, and eliminated. There's not going to be second chances. There's going to be a recognition of the intention and then a removal of anything that's going to interfere with the happiness of the community and its guides. Hi. Good morning, everybody. Alrighty then. Holy Spirit, Divine Spirit, where are we at this morning? What does the collective have to look forward to? It seems that we've got some significant changes, a rebirth, and a painful ending for some folks. They were led down the wrong path, and now there's consequences, unfortunately, because of the severity and the joy that was behind destroying other people for money. So it looks like we got our 10 of Pentacles here. Oh, that's reversed. Or in the right side. Upright. 10 of Pentacles, research, King of Pentacles. All right, so we've got the 10 of Pentacles, inheritance. Due to the research of the history, we got King of Pentacles is here monitoring the abundance for the people. Making difficult decisions. According to the love unions, the sacred connections. of the Divine Mother, according to, in alignment with the Most High God. So it's all doing well. So these proposals of this next chapter will be based in truth. Yeah, so we're recovering. The star is recovering and recuperating from the nastiness of the previous cycle, freedom from that. And because these ones have failed, they're being bound and restricted from your wish come true, from your finances and your love. And that is justice for the earth angels. So already then, so let's, there's that intro. Let us see what else Spirit has for us. Thanks for being here, everybody. It is December 28th, 2025, and we're nearly done with the year. So, in the central energy for the collective planetary system, what do we got going on? Holy Spirit, Divine Spirit. Oh, hold up. I need some of this good stuff. Oh, yeah. Good stuff. There we go. All right. Good morning. In the central energy, we have the Page of Swords. Do not seek revenge. Let God handle everything. Well, 22 years of suffering consciously, 30 plus years unconsciously, and many lifetimes prior. Yes, God is handling everything. Goodbye, alias. In the challenge position, it's so funny that people will come on here saying that God specifically bans or denies tarot readers. Why are you watching tarot if God specifically says it's not proper? Why are people coming here to do that then? It's so weird to me. So we've got research, the Hermit here. So you're researching, you're doing your investigation upon things. Stop watching Danyemi. That would be the best suggestion that I would have for you. Honestly. In the subconscious, Queen of Cups in the reverse. We got some nasty, selfish, immature women out there who don't have any love in them. They're very insecure, and the only way that they can feel good about themselves is if they are successful tearing somebody else down, because they don't have the ability to actually rise on their own. They have to tear other people down. In the recent past, we've got the King of Swords. Intentions and expectations. Somebody's losing out on stuff, according to the truth. In the near future. Ooh, King of Pentacles in the reverse. Greedy, stubborn, masculine. Do what you need to do with the genders, please. So somebody's experiencing a loss. They're overindulgent. Their wealth was a facade. It was an illusion. They're irresponsible with their finances and okay, so the lens is being looked through. Nine of Swords, anxiety, nightmare. Despair in the environment. Trickery and fraud. Getting away with something tricky. Hopes and fears. Whoa. Something's happening very quickly. Could be some kind of communications. An airplane flight. Something. And the outgoing energy. Ooh, Four of Wands. Marriage and community. On the bottom of the deck, we've got somebody being afraid of the High Priestess's strength. You know, they tried to unalive her, sacrifice her. They tortured her and tried to make sure that she would never be seen. However, she's just too strong. Divine Feminine is risen. And all of those notes that she had taken over time are seen. So we've got coming into the fruits of her labor, a life of luxury and new opportunities, new passionate opportunities, letting go of these needy, greedy, foundation, hoarding, you know, brutalizers, wanting to take, so that they could have more, you know. They didn't actually want to produce it. They just wanted to take it. These lovers here, the strength of two together, are weary, but they have their boundaries up and firm, and according to the power of three. So they're making difficult decisions here and maintaining balance to whatever is being thrown at them. They're coming into an Ace of Pentacles financial opportunity, and it's a completion of their heavy burden here. What we got here is, so this was here. I had one flipped upside down, and what that is the Knight of Cups. So it appears though he doesn't have any more opportunities to come forward at all. It's like not only are your boundaries up and but they don't even have any more opportunities. So whoever that is, you're going into this new beginning, and there is judgment being called according to the passion of the mother in this divine wholesome love, reciprocal love, total love. So yeah, there's a big tower here, and death, according to the truth that Divine Feminine has about these trickster, abusive F-boys, thieving people, using words of love and intimate sacred connection as weapons of war. They're having a painful ending now, and there's cause for celebration. This is happening throughout the world. You may be traveling across the world, taking your money. Take the money and run. You might take the money and run. Yeah, you're out of here. You're leaving behind. You're releasing the baggage of the devil. You're leaving it behind, and you've got a victory here. You're moving on into the investments that you have made. You've got lots of choices coming up, Divine Masculine. You could have a great desire for something career focused, bringing an end to this cycle of dealing with this nasty Jack, always rushing forward, trying to get in your space. Queen of Pentacles has public recognition and a victory here, maintaining control throughout this conflict with the Magician in the history. Yeah, so good. Okay, that's good. Welcome to the channel, everybody. I hope you're doing well this morning.
Rogers. Let me find that person. Who is that person? Ryan Rogers called judgment. Did I delete that person already? Thank you, Rainbow Dragon. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, Sandra. My apologies for the nasties, everybody. You know, they like to come on first thing in the morning. So it's a little challenging when I first start because people try to get nasty. People try to get nasty.
Alrighty then, so we got the Page of Swords. They're all up in their head. They're having lots of mental energy. They're thinking about Queen of Cups in the reverse. Like the Divine Feminine just don't have any more love for them because they're a little F-boy playing games with love, using words of love and intimate encounters as weapons of war to F people over, to betray and destroy the lives of others. Nobody needs an F-boy like that. Absolutely not. Please get out of the house, because nobody wants to procreate with somebody whose intention is to F them up and screw over their life. Nobody needs that in the community. And that kind of energy doesn't need to be served by the community. Absolutely not. So the curator is out there trying to find a way in. He's got masculines in the territory that are still willing to listen and consider his revenge plots, his schemes to copycat, to flip and copycat this dignitary. So, yeah, they got some restless. They're all wanting gain, even though they haven't earned it. You know, they're thieves, and that's how they gain, is they F people, and then they take what they have. So that's not a very good, that's not a creator, that's a destroyer and a thief. I just don't have any need for them. We don't have any need for thieves. Money worship. Page of Swords having some mental issues. They got money worship, but they can't tap into the feminine anymore. She doesn't want anything to do with him because he's a nasty jack. He's a freaking nasty jack. People are soul searching. People are doing their research. They're looking at the history of these guys or gals coming up wanting to get all up in their energy. I don't think they're child men. I think they're just nasty boys. Alrighty then, so the Hermit's here. Oh man, okay, well, we got overload and caught intention. This Divine Feminine is choking the shit out of this nasty jack. Yeah, because she's done her research. She's like, get out of here, you immature page. Worshipping money. You're not tapping into my womb of power. Hell no. There's no profit for you to be made here, boy. Nasty boy. Nasty boy. No, 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 no. He's gonna be alone, nasty boy. Be alone. The walls are closing in on the nasty boy. He's trying real hard to get somebody to love him. He's like, oh, come on now. So you're removing the walls or the barriers that are keeping differences hidden. There's no space for denial, only for resolution. And that resolution is they have to stop playing here. They have to stop playing in the house of love. Absolutely. So we got insecurity. Now they're insecure because, yeah, Casanova.
because nobody loves Casanova. Divine Feminine's like, get away from me, you hoe bag. You're a money worshiping thief trying to tap into the womb of power so that you can gain a profit and and then probably call yourself a damn prophet once you gain access to that intellectual property. So the King of Swords here is in the recent past. He's got mental clarity over what has been going on here regarding the womb and the power and the wealth that comes from it, that is intended for the children that are birthed from it. But you do have playboys, they have children, and then they feel they're entitled to the womb of power and to the spiritual inheritance of that child. They feel they have entitlements. That's the only reason they birth children, is to gain the money, the spiritual inheritance coming from God for that child. They're a thief. They're a thief of the mother, the power of the womb, and the children that they birth, the children that they hate, the children that they sacrifice and eat. These low lives are scumbags, and they can't be here. Anybody caught communicating with this curator will most likely be instantly evicted. No second chances. No. That is a wrong mindset. If you're looking for money and to destroy a feminine that is supplying money and wealth, then they need to absolutely just be evicted. They can't live in the mother's house. No, they're not going to be breaking through. They won't be breaking through. They won't be entering into this territory. Divine Masculine knows the truth over these nasty jacks, these little playboys, and they're not coming back, even though they're continuously strategizing on ways to do so. Anybody in the territory that is strategizing with the curator on trying to get back in will be evicted. Absolutely. We're not playing games, and we're not giving handouts to traitors. And that's why they hate this woman, because she's not going to finance their attempt to destroy the stability and the harmony of the foundation, to hijack the Divine Feminine, to F her over once more. Absolutely not. And to what? To bring about another cycle where they're chemically castrating the Divine Masculines? No, absolutely not. The Divine Masculines know what they've been doing, because they didn't want any challengers. They wanted the men confused sexually, and they wanted them weak. So they've been feeding them estrogen within the canned goods and such. And those who refuse to be chemically altered soon enough, they just create a war so you can go fight in it and then, die or get mentally effed up. Third party situation. So they're losing everything because they've been breaking hearts. Jezebel, Gigolo, Incubus, Succubus has been coming up, tapping into the mind, tapping into the energy, and playing games, causing heartbreak, destroying homes, fracturing wealth, destroying family trees, and the generational wealth potential. So we got this King of Pentacles here. His wealth, it's a facade, it's an illusion. They don't actually have the responsibility to manage money. They're just a greedy thief, indulging in other people's work and effort, stealing their profit, calling themselves a prophet, most likely. In the near future, financially inept, greedy, King of Pentacles reverse, could be a fire sign, earth sign, false flame, a false flame. So they gain contracts with people for money, and then they dump the freaking contract. So this is a false flame. No more contracts for false flames, because they have betrayed third-party situations. They've betrayed their brother. They've betrayed their sister. They have been putting people in emotional roller coasters, causing distress in the realm
for money. Somebody's paying this jackass to do this. So now they're experiencing genuine hurt and they feel deeply betrayed, or because that's what they've been doing. So this false flame is being abandoned. They're losing all of their money. It was false success anyway. It was gained through hurting this Casanova. It was gained through doing mental magic over divine feminine, and they're not going to be able to do that anymore. Any jackass trying to do mental magic over divine feminine, trying to screw up their relationship with divine masculine, that's an instant that's death, man. Are you kidding me? It's premeditated intention to not only destroy a loving union with mental magic and trickery, but to destroy the opportunity to create a family tree that is strong and can accrue generational wealth. This is a bad traitor of family. Casanova, drippy schwankster, playboy. In a nightmare. In a nightmare. Seeking help. You know what? They left divine feminine for centuries without anything. They took everything from her, and then they brutalized her. They gave her children that they hated, that they just wanted the spiritual inheritance of, and then they left her with next to nothing to care for these children while they were what? Actually molesting them and stuff? Yeah, pieces of crap, man. Nobody needs a father figure like that in the realm. Are you kidding me? Deception, trickery, always wandering around, sticking somebody with a damn sword. Getting off on it, man. Whoa, look at all those comments. Wow, I kind of got stuck there for a little bit. So they're being tricky in the environment. They're being deceptive. There's a lot of gossip. Those are females on this card. So the females are gossiping about this little jackwagon being a Casanova, tapping into the womb of power and then draining it of the life force that is supposed to be fueling the child or the life that comes from it. So very swiftly, we got something happening here. 8 of Wands. Rapid action. Rapid. Petty gains. Chasing profits, you know, they were just using sex, chasing pennies, and neglecting larger financial goals. They didn't want to work for anything. They just wanted to be a prostitute and then get money for it. They didn't want to be a husband, a wife, a father, a mother. They didn't want to be that. They just wanted to be a reckless sex, incubus, succubus. They're a prostitute. Using words of love and sexual encounters for gain, for monetary gain. Happy endings. Fly on the wall. Yeah, I did. Okay, so we got the Four of Wands here, and we've got happy endings, but it feels skeptical, right? Fairy tale promises. Believes reality is far from the fairy tale and feels disillusioned. Question the promises that seem too perfect. So we've got a celebration within the community, but people are still questioning it because we still have Nasty Jack and little Jezebel out there trying to have sex for money, basically at the destruction of somebody else's profit and so on. Exploitation. Digital detox. So people have been catfishing others, creating false accounts, and then doing their best to destroy their reputation by posting false pictures, false videos, and such. There could be a digital detox. These catfishers may be eliminated for gambling with other people's lives, trying to get a present. There's danger approaching. Zombie apocalypse. They've fallen into a trap. You've got guidance from above, which has brought you success. God walks with you. And that's really bad news for these people, because you are the gift. You are the one that has the profit. You are very independent. A female. You did it all on your own, and you got these nasty jacks in the bed. They want to be alone. They just want to go sleep with a bunch of people. They got their little teddy bear there. They're very immature little boy in a big man body, chasing after quick gains, targeting families who are successful, and now they're being warned they will be imprisoned if they ever do such a thing within this territory. There are no second chances. There is a discovery of the deceit and intention to destroy family, and then there is an elimination of that threat. These unexpected surprises, these gifts that are being sent, and they're hexed, they're cursed, they're whatever. You know, when these be brought into the home, then that acts as a portal. It acts as a covering. They're now imbued or by your energy. If you allow a surprise gift from an unknown source to come into your home, that could happen. Manipulation. They want to drive your path. They want to handle you. They want to steer your destiny. And then they want to be you by wearing a social mask for money. So they want to promote their channel by using you and your example for money. It looks like they're going to have a malfunction. Yeah, they're going to have a malfunction. Something's going to break down. Everything in their life is going to fall apart if they try to catfish you these days. Those days are over. Well, hello, Jessica. Thank you so much. I'm not saying that somebody who's giving you a gift is trying to destiny swap with you. I'm saying that, you know, you need to be, first and foremost, you need to know yourself, and you need to know what your energy is and what an interfering energy is. And you need to be able to trust those people who you are allowing to put things in your home or even to be present in your home. You know, our energy, our soul value is very, very important. Well, if you've been trying to get rid of him and he's forcing himself on you there, Tim, don't be bringing his stuff in. Absolutely not. Put it in the backyard, buried in the backyard. That's what I heard. I read some time ago, because I don't know about witchy stuff. But the one thing that I read about was that if you want to invite something into your home, you bury something in the front yard. If you want to get it out of your house or out of your life, you bury it in the backyard, and you set the intention for anything coming from that source to just get on down the road.
Well, if they've been breaking into your house, Dana, I hope that you've been filing police reports. Rather than just accusing, you know? So we got a Page of Swords out here. They're having mental, restless energy. They're thinking, they're worshiping money. They don't really like women or anybody. They just want, their partner is money. And they sleep with others. They prostitute themselves in order to get it. To them, prostitution is war. You know, they use it as a weapon of war. They use sex as a weapon of war. They use it to degrade, defile the feminine, and they use it to trap divine feminines into that space so that they can continue to be degraded and defiled. It's really, really nasty that these entities exist and that they're able to play games here. They need to get out. Absolutely. Ethical concerns are coming second to these people. Like, they have no ethics. They just have no morals. That they pretending to be spiritual. They're going through an ego death. They were leading people down a path of incoherency. They don't know what they're doing or what they're talking about. They're going in a downward spiral. They worship money. They agreed to prostitute themselves, to become a low vibrational nasty jack for money. You're doing your research here with the Hermit card. We've got walls are closing in. Removing the walls built by cultural differences and sexual orientation. Removing the divides. There's no more space for denial, only for resolution. And it's like, you know, no more backstabbing. The walls are closing in. We're not dealing with backstabbers, lying, cheaters, deceptive, you know, hoe bags, playing mind games and love bombing people. The walls are closing in. They're on their way out. So there's a separation occurring between Nasty Jack looking for quick gain and then backstabbing whoever he's been stabbing with his phallus, you know. They stab you with their appendage and then they backstab you and take everything from you. It's a weapon. They've been using it as a weapon. Hi. This is a collective read, everybody. It's for the planet itself. It's macro. There are many people here experiencing such things as this. And you'll need to apply it to the details of your life as it fits, if it does. If it doesn't, please don't try to make it fit. It isn't my intention to cause agitation or disruption in people's lives. I'm just telling a story. I was telling it for myself, and I decided a couple years ago to go ahead and start sharing that with the people because I found it helpful, and I was hoping that maybe others would too. I'm not here to debate or argue or challenge anybody's religious status. I'm just here telling a story. Well, these kind of came out flying out. And the thing is I may as well take them. Okay, so we've got Casanova, the Divine Feminine. There's no more love in Divine Feminine for Hoboy. She doesn't want anything to do with Nasty Jack and his drippy little appendage. She has absolutely no need for it. There's no value in it. And he's trying to use it to poke into the womb of power and extract out a payday. It's exactly what it is. They're having heartbreak now because there's no more love. Nobody wants. Wheezy peasy.
Nobody wants to deal with a shady mask wearing POS. Drinking to cope. Casanova is drinking to cope. They're having heartbreak. This fake spiritualist nobody wants to sleep with them. King of Swords knows the truth regarding Casanova, and they're not going to be breaking through. They will not be coming back. They will not be entering the territory. If they attempt to do such things, it's an instant karmic debt to be paid instantly, most likely. This is not a game. Absolutely not. These people were allowed to come in and collaborate thousands of years ago, and this is where it wound up. This is not going to happen again. It will be very strict. And lots of people are not going to be happy about it, most likely. And the Divine Mother most likely doesn't give a crap, because the children that are coming from her womb will not be raped by freaking Casanova this cycle. Absolutely not. They're real mad. They're real mad at the mother. What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm sex addicted. I don't want any strings. They're not coming back. Divine Masculine knows the truth. It's like, if you're just here to F people over, to destroy or filthy the energy that we as a family, as a collective family, hold. We as a collective family, a clan, a tribe, we hold a collective energy. And if these people come in and start playing in our collective energetic field, then we got problems. King of Swords knows the truth of it, and they're not going to be coming in. There's no breaking through. There's no coming in and disrupting the collective energy that we share, that we're going to build our community with, to come in and filthy that energy, to decrease its value, to weaken its potential. No, this is serious business. And we're not out here feeding the snake everything it wants. Oh, I want to go poke that pig. Oh, I want to go F that chicken. Oh, I think that girl over there, that little 5-year-old virgin, looks real nice. Oh, dancing boy. Oh, yeah. No, I don't think so. Thank you, Katerina. That's so nice of you. Thank you. And they're real mad that that the Divine Feminine is standing up and saying, no cornholioing, no more panda eyes of the children. No more abusing the power of the womb of the mother. It's ridiculous. No more chemically castrating the masculines. No more genetic modifying of the human being. Freaking whack jobs. They messed up their brains, and they're still calling themselves clever and intelligent. So they're getting a 5 of Pentacles because they've been doing third-party situations. They've been coming in, doing mental magic, doing love spells, tampering with the waters of the body, tampering with the emotional body, tampering with the dream space, coming into the dream space, giving a wife a dream that her husband was being unfaithful, giving a husband a dream that his wife is being unfaithful, tampering in that union with this stupid magic trick. Little Mr. F-Boy. I think all of those obelisks that they have constructed or erected all over the world ought to be torn down. Those are disgusting. They're not even energy conductors or whatever. It's just this freaking thing that feeds their ego every time they look at it. How big, how straight, how stiff it is. Their god is the penis. I mean, they don't even like vaginas. They only tap into it because that's where the womb of power is. I'm sorry. I'm only being rude to those who it applies to. If it doesn't apply to you, please don't be offended. And if you are, then maybe this story time isn't for you. So they're going to the police station. These third-party hoe bags that have been going in, destroying marriages with their magical interferences, and then their little schwankster gigolo hoe boy or hoe girl stuff coming in to do this kind of crap. Yeah, you're going to freaking jail is what you're doing, and you're going to lose everything because you've been stealing the wealth from families who've been trying to make gain. And you come in and you mentally F them with your stupid magic tricks, your stupid little demons that you've been calling forward. You know, you should go live there is what you should do. You should go live there with those people that in this other realm, these other dimensions that have been doing so much nasty shit. But God ain't going to let you. You're not going to go be able to live with those who have been feeding your frenzy. No. So we got the King of Pentacles in the reverse, greedy thief, false flame coming in, interfering with people's true divine twin flame unions, abandoning them once they get that entanglement, that energetic womb of power entanglement. They have abandoned them, throw them in the trash. And now they're going in the trash because they have no freaking value. There's no value to a schwankster coming in looking to betray every freaking buddy in the community for gain. We don't need Sneaky Pete coming in doing that kind of shit. And we certainly don't need his girlfriend doing it either. They're in trauma and despair. Divine Feminine sought help. Her prayers reached the edges of limitless numbers of universes. You little nasty jacks, there are greater beings in this cosmos than you. Most certainly. Now you're in a nightmare. You got too full of yourselves. You decided being a prostitute was where it was at. Calling yourselves gods and shit, man. That's so sick. Why would you even do that? Fell into a trap. We got a trap. Somebody may be in a nightmare. They got into a trap. It could be their Jezebel. It could be their Jezebels are in a trap. They were doing mirror magic over divine feminines and they fell into the mirror is what they did with this trickery. Trickery and fraud. Trickery and fraud. And now everybody's gossiping. They're like, whoa. Karmic ties. For petty gain. For quick petty gain. They're still hoping for it. They want to betray somebody. They want to sacrifice somebody. Look at her licking that knife. She's all ready for it, man. So now they're saying they miss you. Of course they do. They, you know, of course they do. So we got the Four of Wands, a celebration within the community. But then, you know, we're very skeptical about this because we know that we're still dealing with parasites coming in, wanting to leech on, you know, tag somebody. Tag somebody's moist cave. Memories. So happy endings. You're hoping for a happy ending, but you're very skeptical about it because of the history of what you've been through. And it's not just one lifetime where somebody betrayed you, you know, where you've had maybe, you know, everybody that you ever loved probably betrayed you, was unfaithful, whatever. But it's lifetimes. And it's not just lifetimes of infidelity. It's lifetimes of brutality. Being burned alive for writing a book about love, you know, for daring to speak about love openly, innocently. You know, they wanted everybody on this lustful path for profit. And you come out and you're talking about legitimate love, and they're like, oh, hell no, witch, we're going to burn you. That's what the church did for the people. They burned love. Somebody's ability to get readings on you is in the freaking toilet. Somebody's ability to get readings on anybody, to tap into other people's energy and to spy on them, and then to approach them with sweet talk. It's ending. It's in the toilet. They can no longer do that. No more stalking or spying or targeting premeditatively other people, knowing that you're just going to F them with your swing and then sacrifice them to the devil. No. Those who love themselves and who's been praying have been heard. Let's see how we doing. Thank you. Tim Create Z, thank you. Brianna, please listen, darling. I said their ability to get readings on people was in the coffin, in the toilet. It's dead. They can't do that anymore. They're not going to get proper information. No more tapping into the divine feminines or masculines because, and here's the thing, we got people out there that are accusing divine feminines and divine masculines of playing both sides with these messaging and such. Here's the thing, there's unification. This is unification. Their roots have been planted very, very deep into the realm of darkness, into the shadow realm. That's where the cocoon was. That's where the chrysalis was. That's where the transformation occurred. That's where we broke through the casing and then reached for the sun. And now that's where the crown currently resides, is in the realm of the sun. So the roots are very, very deep within the shadow. The crown is very, very high in the realm of the sun. And the tree is standing firm, bringing planetary stabilization. That's what the suns and the stars do, who have done the shadow work and who are in temperance energy. You've got these chaos makers, these little prostitutes out here who have been chopping down trees. They've been sacrificing them to the devil and eliminating the tree, the bridge between the heaven and the underworld, who, by the way, work in tandem, symbiosis, to keep stability in the middle ground. It's a family. And people are very disrespectful with their superstitions and their religions of separation. They want to create war with everybody without understanding. So we've got the Page of Swords here. It got some restless mental energy. They've been worshiping money. They've been prostituting themselves. They've been doing some stuff in the spiritual realm. They could have been posing themselves as a spiritual guide, but they've been bringing chaos instead. They could be going under an ego death. They could be in a downward spiral because you're about to encounter your true twin flame. You've abandoned the false flames. No more false flames. They're out of here. There is a separation occurring right now. You're going to encounter your true person. These ones who were money worshiping, just creating connections or entanglements so that they could gain profit from the value of your soul by bumping into it. So the Hermit is here by extracting the energy of your sexual pleasure. They are now entangled in your womb of power, and they can draw off of that and use that energy to do stuff. And that's how they've been casting the illusion that divine feminines and divine masculines are prostitutes, because they are prostitutes. And then they come in and they have the entanglement, and then they use your temperance energy to alchemize their crap. You're basically their compost person. So look, we got unfinished business here. You're doing your research. The walls are closing in on Casanova. We're not doing any more deceiving mind games when it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriages or intimate, sacred connections. The walls are closing in on those who have been doing the back and forth. Now, this is the thing. Back and forth occurs when you have no roots. When you have no roots, you have to sacrifice a living entity to whoever it is that's giving you the illusion of stability, of temperance. They have no roots. They have to sacrifice somebody who does, and then gain a little bit of a profit in order to cast an illusion. This is my understanding. I don't actually know, but this is my understanding. So take it as it resonates for you. But what we got is a back and forth. Baggage. They go into the shadows, they unalive somebody or sacrifice somebody, or they tap into a woman of power, and then they sacrifice that to the devil, and then they go off and they say, ooh, I'm so pretty, I'm so light, I'm so bright, because they get to siphon some of that energy. They get to wear it, they get to dress up in it. It's their prize, it's their reward. So the walls are closing in. We're not dealing with any more backstabbing deceivers. We've got the Queen of Cups is in the reverse. She's like, I'm not dealing with you. You're a little hoe bag, Casanova. And now they're undergoing some kind of a heartbreak because she won't let them swing her anymore. They're shady little mask-wearing crap heads, and now they're drinking to cope. They got to go get drunk. They're wearing their mask. They got to go get drunk. They can't have a sexual encounter. Nobody wants that drippy wand. It's pretty disgusting. You know, you've solved the puzzle. You're chewing it. Somebody's coping it. They're chewing over it. You remember what all this is like, oh my God, it's so sick. Somebody may be deep thinking about this, trying to find a code word, like this Monarch thing or MK Ultra or whatever. They may be trying to figure out a code word, some kind of an activator that maybe somebody seeded in you. They're like, where's my activator? Where's my button? Where's my secret button? Mr. Casanova, where's my C's? I got to go punch that button. I need my little kitty to come online. No, Chowdhury, no, this is not a personal read. This is a collective read regarding the planet. Please tap into your intuition and pray to God about it. If the union isn't divinely guided and connected, then it's not legitimate as far as I can tell. So we've got commitment. So the King of Swords is here. Whoever these nasty jacks and their clever little Jezebels are, they're not going to be breaking through into this new territory. There's going to be no strings offered to sex addicts. They will not be permitted into the territory. The King of Swords knows the truth about this. What they say is they want high value women, not high maintenance women. And they're committed to the high maintenance women, and they're committed to keeping Jezebel and the pimp of Jezebel off of the territory. They're not getting any services.
They won't be supplied a foundation within the territory so that they can do their traitorous little schemes and scams. Absolutely not. Nobody's going to fund that in the territory. They're in a 5 of Pentacles loss because of this third party destruction of the potential for generations and their wealth and stability. They're in the police station. They're getting arrested for crimes against family. It ain't okay. It ain't okay. They're in the police station for tampering with the waters of the family. So the body, the temple, the flesh temple is like 70% water. And these ones have been tampering with the frequencies of people's flesh suits, and which then affects the emotions, which then can destabilize the mental body, which then makes it real easy for Sneaky Pete or whatever to come in and say, oh, I'm going to love you, because they can destabilize everything and then force feed you rhetoric, little soap operas of how nobody loves you, nobody will ever love you, nobody has ever loved you, you're going to get rejected by everybody. And then they sneak in Sneaky Pete and he's like, oh, I'm going to love you just right. And then they tamper with the frequency of the waters, right? Disturb your energetic frequency. You've got talent here. You're an alchemist. You can command that. When they try to interfere in your waters, you're like, oh no, and you get up and you do the work to command that frequency. So they're in trouble for playing third-party little ho boys and girls with talented alchemists. Absolutely necessary to be here to bring planetary stability. Rooted deeply, crown in the heights. Connected, unified. And these ones, they're like, war, one side against the other. And it's like, are you serious, you little jackwagon? My freaking wreaths are there. My crown is here. This is my tree. And all spaces and places occupied by this tree are very sacred. Only those without roots, only those with a need to consume will try to chop that tree down and suck the life out of it. Dress up in the energy of it, but they have eliminated the crown and the roots while posing as. That's what's been happening. That's what's been happening. All the trees got cut down. Can you tell when you look around? You have ascended. So you have ascended. Greedy little thief, having sex for money, as losing everything. They're now in a 5 of Pentacles and they're getting arrested. They're in the police station. This is a false flame who has abandoned all of those connections. They've betrayed everybody who tried to love them. They used words of love and intimate sexual encounters as weapons of war. Their favorite weapon of war, according to them, verbally, is relationship. You have ascended. You're abandoning these false flames. You're letting them go. You've leveled up and you've been promoted. You don't play these games. You've discovered the truth about these games. People are getting arrested. They're out here in a freaking nightmare. It could be that the lenses that is being looked through is you being in a nightmare. Maybe you were in a trap. You were in one of these freaking sexual traps. Rose, sacrificed by these two jackasses and that little Jezebel that's trying to wear your identity. So you cried out for help. You were in this trap. It could be somebody's in a nightmare because your cry for help has been answered and they are trapped. You have ascended. You are heard by limitless numbers of universes. You're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be moving forward, but you got these little vampiric entities that are addicted to your energy and appearing as what you are. They're desperate to hold you back because their idea of self relies upon the ability to wear your energy.
forgotten person. Long ago, somebody long ago. You may have been trapped by somebody long ago, a long ago forgotten person. We got a long ago forgotten person that came in to speak to a divine feminine, and he asked her if she still loved him. And she was like, I don't even know who you are. They either stole her memories or they gave her memories to somebody else. They're very cruel and vicious, cold-blooded freaking snake. Using it as a weapon of war. The Divine Father should be giving them a smackdown and evicting them out of that suit for misusing it so badly. We don't miss you, karmic ties. So we got Sneaky Pete, Nasty Jack, and Crazy Jane, or whatever you want to call her. They're out there trying to commit trickery. People are talking about it. Oh my goodness. These karmic ties, we do not miss. Karmic ties, absolutely not. We don't miss this. We don't miss it. We do not miss it. We do not miss it. Very swiftly, they were looking for swift gain, petty gain. It wasn't even great profit. It was petty gain, man. It was a petty prostitution ring. Right out in the open. Miss you. They miss you, but you don't miss them. Because they're tricky, they're frauds, they deceive people, they betray people, and you're fiercely independent. You're like, get off me, you freaking leech. You're gonna pull that tick off yourself, stick it with a hot iron. So your karmic tie, your copycat, they miss your energy, they miss you, they miss dressing up, being seen as you. They're not you, obviously. We've got the Four of Wands here, so there is a community homecoming. And we've got, feels skeptical of happy endings and distrusts fairy tale promises. Believes reality is far from the fairy tale and feels disillusion. Question the promises that seem too perfect. This is what you're doing because of what has occurred in the past. But we got breakup. So the people that made you feel like this, they're being removed. They're not going to be present. You will be able to trust love. There will be privacy. Nobody's going to come into your mind, into your mental body, into your dreams, and astral project unseen into your household and spy on you. No more catfishing, no more copycatting, no more delusions. Just the real deal. Very serious responsibilities. So those who have, that you remember that had given you that feeling like you're breaking up, they're out of here. They're out of here. Because we're going to have true, total love and support. Harmonious. You're breaking up with these people who were tormenting the rose. The freaking, look, those people who were, those copycats, those catfishers, those masculines with their little wand, coming in, getting in a sexual entanglement, sacrificing the rose, turning them into an energetic siphoning freaking exhibition for the snake, tormenting them, binding them. Yeah, we're breaking up with that shit. Going away. We're not dealing with that. No more snake coming in to bind with or entangle with a beautiful divine being and then tormenting them for profit. No, you little hoe bag. Get out. We're breaking up with those who have tormented us in the past by promising us a happy ending. And the lie, it was all a big fat lie. We will have harmonious marriages. We are leaving behind the snake that was sacrificing their wives, their husbands, to the devil for profit. And then prostituting the energy, drawing it off, siphoning it off, spending it like it was a commodity, a freaking hidden bank account that they could just pull off. That was God's daughter or son and their spiritual inheritance, you nasty little Jacks and Joneses, Janets, whatever, were pulling off of. It was not yours. You were stealing from God directly. The wealth that he had set aside for specific souls. Now they're running away. Because you're getting your wish. You're getting a new beginning. And these genetically modified animal friends, these kitties, these pets, these catfishing mirrors, are experiencing a change due to the history of what they have done. There's physical evidence. Somebody was trying to come up with an excuse the other day. They were like trying to defend themselves. And then they were shown physical evidence, which was not modified. And they hung their head low and said, oh, they've been found, caught. And the rose is reconciled with the divine. Having been caught in a trap, having their prayers heard, limitless numbers of universes, way out there to the edge of everything. Oh, hello, God, are you out there somewhere? Please hear what's happening here with the rose, right? So you're reconciled. You have found communication records, call records, instant messaging, any kind of messaging. You have discovered the key people and the core of the problem here because you have held firm and you're wide awake. You've got clarity. You're clean. You're not an addict. You're not an alcoholic. You're very decisive. You know what you're here to do. And these people are in eternal regret for what they did here in the home because night is falling upon them. For the hidden truth, the crimes that they were doing, these forbidden relationships between the devil and the angel. They were not supposed to be feeding. But your soul song, look, you're single and your soul song is out there. You're like, blah, singing your song, talking your talk, shining your light, all on your own. And it could be that your song has made you recognized by a single divine masculine, somebody who's also been alone, independent. And now this is the end of opportunity for the uninvited toxic attachments, these uninvited guests. No more will they come in and siphon the energy from the shadows of a sleeping woman or a sleeping man. You know, they thought that if you were single and you were living alone, that they could just come in and do whatever they wanted. They would come in and they would tap you while you were sleeping and just draw your energy off. They took a gamble. And they ran into the crown. They ran into royalty. And sacrificed it for a freaking profit. The investigation has occurred. These people are trash. And law and order is happening here. The scales are being balanced by the divine feminine, by the mother figure, by the planetary mother and guide. They're furious about it because Nasty Jack wants to stay here and continue prostituting the rose and the divine mother, the planetary guide, the nurturer, the one who wants to save souls and family trees to be strong and powerful and wealthy. These Nasty Jacks, these prostitutes for money are really upset because she kicked them out. She does not want them to be part of family, the collective family, which is, by the way, the rainbow tribe. Many ethnic cultures are present, but they all have an agreement that they're, united. So the page is very upset. They worshipped money. They're a fake spiritual person going through an ego death. They're in a downward spiral because you're about ready to meet your person. It's like, oh gosh. They might want to come in and try to arrange an encounter with you, but you're not dealing with any backstabbing bullshit artists. The walls are closing in. Whoops. Mercury retrograde, earth sign. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, going back. Going back. You're coming together with your person. Divine masculine, divine feminine. You finally made it together. You were able to break through these barriers. You're doing your research. The walls are closing in on the deception on these people who've been over and back. They've been sacrificing divinity so that they can dress up in it and appear as though they are it. They're getting divorced out of the energy, out of the realm. They can't play here anymore because they're not what they have been portraying themselves to be. They're not. It's all a freaking illusion. And they're here getting services deceitfully. They should not. They haven't qualified for them. So Queen of Cups is in the reverse. It could be that there's no love here for the divine feminine, has no love for Casanova. And there's a heartbreak here. It's like, oh no, because they're a shady mask wearing addict. They're coping, they're drinking, they're in lush. You're remembering. We've got traveling soon. You've solved the puzzle. Traveling soon. King of Swords knows the truth about these nasties, and they will not be breaking through. They will not be coming back. The curator is there talking to his interdimensional people. They're off planet, but they're there. They've refused to give up their connection to the collective consciousness. They're still out there tapped in. They were demanded. It was demanded that they cease and desist using medications as connectors and bridges to consciousness, but they obviously are not taking that order seriously. The King of Swords knows the truth about this. They will not be coming back. There are going to be no strings with the sex-addicted bullshit artists. This is an oath, a pledge, a promise, a commitment. Because there's health issues that could arise. We got to look after the health of the community, of the temple. And you got these filthy entities here, interdimensional entities coming in, posing as human and tapping into the womb of power and those corpuscles of the spine for the men, you know, and extracting the value of your soul, the value of your life, living high on the hog while leaving you destitute. So now they're destitute. In a Five of Pentacles, third-party situation is at the police station. They're going to be arrested, or they are being arrested. We've got talent, born with. These new children will be born with talent. They will be able to manage the frequencies of their waters, their minds, their emotions. They're not going to be cheap, sleazy horrors, harvesting energy to become powerful. They will be powerful. They will be embodied by everything that you have survived and every skill that you have developed. Third parties are going into the jail. We're having a new generation of human beings that are going to be birthed in this new cycle, and they will be born with the talents that you have developed here. So your struggles and your trials and your pain and everything that you have learned in order to manage and bring homeostasis to your body and your life are not wasted efforts, because the children that are coming forth from you in this new chapter will be born with, imbued by those skills and that knowledge. And so their life will be greater for it. You're coming in with one of the biggest gifts you could ever give life. Knowledge of what nearly destroyed it. And you may be older right now, but I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some kind of an age regression or some kind of a weird blip thing. I don't know. God's going to, like, you know, his chosen people are going to be restored and renewed, and they will be the power source of these new children. So King of Pentacles is losing his pentacles. He's greedy. He's been a false flame. He's been tapping into the minds of twin flames. That's what their gig was. It was forbidden for these devils to let the angels come together. So they always stepped in and interfered with that. They presented themselves as a false flame and then tapped that wealth that was supposed to be utilized in the twin flame union. So they're in big trouble because you have ascended, you've been promoted. This is what they've been trying to do with an ascension. They've been tapping into somebody who was going to ascend, and then they abandoned them once they got that connection. They faked it. They faked an ascension by tapping into somebody who was it or was getting it. They faked ascension by creating an entanglement with somebody who had been enlightened. And then they flipped that person into a south node and then sacrificed them to the devil. And then they sat there pulling off that energy, pretending that they had actually done the work to ascend. They're losing everything. You have ascended. You have been promoted. You're getting a new beginning, a new honeymoon. This false flame is going in the trash. They're in a nightmare, having anxiety, because your cry out for support from this trapped position by a forgotten person was heard. They heard you. It could very well be that this forgotten person who is now being abandoned or who abandoned you is now crying out for help because they're in the trap that they had you in. Centuries, they had you trapped in this thing where they were pulling off of you, and now they're in the trap. They're being let go. The forgotten person is being let go. The one who had you in the trap is now being let go, and they're in a nightmare. They're being let go because they're a trickster and a fraud. They've been creating entanglements with those who have ascended, and then they have flipped and copycatted them. They're the actual ascendant. They've been cheating. We've got a lot of gossip with karmic ties. All of those karmic ties are those people who had created them. There's a lot of gossip happening here about how they created ties, devils, karmics, codependent, toxic, lying, thieving, hoe bag prostitutes were lying and then dressing up in some sacrificed energy and then presenting themselves as an ascendant, creating an energetic tie with an ascendant. That's how they were getting off. They were getting off on it, man. They kept doing it over and freaking over, and we don't miss them. It's like absolutely not. They're not permitted in this territory. It's very serious business. Some people will insist that you should be nice, that you should be kind, that you should be generous, especially if these people are speaking proper words of love and such. No, no, no. We had 21 species of humanity. There's one left. It's Homo sapiens, and they're sick. They've been injected with a genetically modifying toxin that was forced upon the community, and now there's even them. There's not very many original humans left because they've been modified. So we got issues, and we got big time protective issues when it comes to protecting what remains and what's going to come from them. This is serious. And anybody who wants to complain about it, is obviously not taking it seriously. They just want to play.
This woman was trying to save people's souls from this woman. So what did they do? They framed her, sacrificed her, threw her in, and then told her to go practice what she preached, while they continued knifing people, knifing her, erasing the memories, doing everything they could to destroy the mind of the prophetess and the prophet, the oracles. They wanted to be seen as that. They were brutal, sleazy. They should never be anywhere near the energy. This person should never be anywhere near the energy of this person. Absolutely not. Out. No, you're not touching none of the children, none of the mothers or the fathers, none of the things that come from them. There will be no hexing, cursing, or anything like that of their land, their home, their life. No. She tried to save their souls last time, so they deceitfully set her up, framed her, convicted her, threw her into a hellhole, and then brutalized her, tortured her lifetime after lifetime for trying to save their souls. And while she was here, many of these divine feminines, they wrote books about love, and then they were burned at the stake by religious people for trying to instill words of love into the heart of the community. This is ridiculous crap that's been going on for centuries. And of course, there's a lot of hate coming off of this one for the fiercely independent woman. She's like, oh yeah, put that bitch in a hole, man. Put that bitch in a hole. And you're like, they're not coming back. They will not be served. Absolutely not. And my prayer to God is, I'm not saying that they should not have access to supplies. I'm just saying that the divine feminine and the divine masculine should no longer be required to pump their freaking gas to serve them. They already did that while being brutalized, while being knifed in the astral, sacrificed in the 4D over and over again, while they slept in their bed getting ready to go to work the next day to serve them. A freaking paycheck that they never earned. Fire sign is telling them to move on. Move on. This fiercely independent woman could be the fire sign that this copycat was trying to mimic. She's like, get out, karmic. Nobody wants you here. Nobody misses you. You're deceitful. You're a liar. Nothing but a Jezebel hoe bag. Probably got a freaking disease that you haven't been to the doctor for yet. Just stop already. Petty freaking gains through sexual encounters, infidelity, these love spells, for doing magic on the minds of people to interfere with the waters, the frequencies of their body, their temple, to download Microsoft Wi-Fi soap operas, thought forms that made you think that you actually wanted it. Manipulation in the highest degree, very technologically advanced systems of manipulation. We've got confession and patience. So we've got confession coming in over the next few months, and there's going to be a separation. There's a serious separation. It may be done by spring, is what I'm thinking. We got some out there saying, well, who says they get a say in it? This is the end of the world. And it could be in a various timeline or dimensional space and reality. Definitely, because there are limitless numbers of universes. And within each universal system, there is great planetary life. So yeah, it could be the end of somebody's world for sure. Maybe this one. They've been talking about her taking all the animals with her. So there is a planetary dimensional shift. There is a separation. Whoever this fierce independent leader is that is supported by divine masculine who knows the truth,
They are taking their stuff, and they're taking all of the animals too. That means the creatures of the sea, the creatures of the air, and the creatures of the earth. They're all coming. These ones will not be able to sacrifice or destroy their soul or their life anymore to present suffering or for them. They're going to be protected. Because we've got this, the Four of Wands. There's a homecoming. We're coming home. She's taking all of the animals with her. Everything is going to come to this new space. Because we've got memories of false endings. These who were promising happy endings by getting marriage connections, by getting pregnant. You know, these things that were supposed to bring joy brought a nightmare because it brought the devil with these nasty jacks and their Jezebels. Exactly. Marriage and birth brought the devil with these ones in the previous cycle because that's how they made profit. They were too lazy to go out and get a job and contribute anything. So we're experiencing a breakup with those who had bound people in contracts and then caused suffering in their life. This snake using the rose, the innocent purity of the rose, and causing a street exhibit, a prostitution ring. They had an energy entanglement worldwide. These nasties were playing with the womb of power in this ring. It's absolutely disgusting. So you're going to be protected from an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. They are known as a liar. They gambled with you from a distance. This is a magician. They were doing shit in your energy, causing you challenges. Could be involved with the water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, a confused sexual deviant. They want you to open your heart and you're like, hell freaking no. They want to be back. They want to come back. They're moving. They got to go back. They got to go do whatever they were doing in a new cycle. They got to go experience what those... So they stole a lot of destinies. They stole a lot of financial gain from those people who had made it through an initiation only to be red-rummed in the 3D and then have somebody else step in with that identity and absorb the spiritual inheritance and status. That's what they're trying to do now. That's why there will probably be some kind of a war, some kind of a fighting, some kind of freaking bombs going off. Unless the divine comes in and takes out the nasty jacks and the sneaky petes who are going to push the button, they could be internally, melting or freaking boiling, whatever. I don't know. They could be just taken out of commission because of their intention. They're being spied upon. They may have to go back and do another cycle and be observed. Yeah. We got somebody might be sacrificing animals, trying to get a date with you. This narcissist might be waiting for that spell work to work. You should give it some time before you do say yes to a commitment, because somebody's doing a love spell on you. Yep, they're sacrificing pets and they're doing love spells, trying to get back into your energy. So use caution. Luck is on your side, so use caution because we've got a gold digger trying to manifest a communication with you so that they can come back into your life. This is a snake. They've been prostituting the energy of innocent roses for a long time. Even if they didn't do it in the seen world, they were doing it in the energetic world. They were harvesting their entanglements and playing with the energy. We've got an energetic soup for the collective that looks like shit. You know, when you mix what is it? When you mix a couple of vibrant colors together, like what? I don't know, yellow, red, green, you mix them together and then you get this shit. You get this brown, this disgust, right? That's kind of what we look like collectively, according to what these ones have been doing in that collective energy field previous cycle. So in this new cycle, we've got this fiercely independent woman. We've got the masculine who knows the truth. You have managed and mastered the frequencies of your waters. You've got natural talent, and the children that are coming forth from you in this new cycle will be born with that. You are protected. From an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, liar, who took a gamble with you. Now, I've got my own identity for this person, and perhaps you have yours as well. Take it as it resonates, please. So the younger there, the Page of Swords, they really believed that this was the way to be successful. They were taught wrong. They were taught absolute disrespect for the value of life and the living. And they have no honor or moral or ethical sense when it comes to respecting other people's boundaries and efforts to create something. They're very childish, and they don't care what they do to get money. This is somebody who's been faking as though they are a spiritual person in the community. They're undergoing an ego death. They're in a downward spiral in chaos because you have come together with your true divine flame, or you are about to. This is an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and whatever they have done here is going back on them. Whatever they've done, trying to interfere with your world, with others' worlds, with whatever. And this could be somebody who's been doing this for a long time. Even though they may be in a page energy, they could be old. And they could have been doing this for lifetimes. Take it as it resonates. Secrets. Haven't told everything. There's secrets here. Yeah. So yeah, we got somebody in the spiritual community that is upset because you're actually encountering your true. We got a secret. Could be a secret encounter. We've got research here with the Hermit. The walls are closing in on the backstabber. There's a divorce for those people who did not do the work. They've been crossing over the half-court line. They've been taking the life of purity, dressing up in it, and then coming back into the light and pretending that they are that. They're getting divorced. They don't deserve to be covered by that purity. They don't, even if it came from their own womb. That's what many of these people were doing. They were having children just to eat them and maintain their illusion of purity. We got reciprocity in the reverse. So we are removing those who were taking the life of others and then presenting themselves as pure, as angel type figures. We're getting divorced because they didn't give back anything. There was no equal give and take. They just stole, presented as though they were worthy, and then took. They're going away. They took away from the families who were actually here doing the work. They were deceitfully presenting themselves as worthy by consuming purity. It's bad. So now Queen of Cups is in the reverse. She's like, oh, hell no. Hail to the no, Casanova. No. And they're having a heartbreak. They're drinking to try to cope with it because this shady mask wearer. They have to go away. They have to go away because you solved the puzzle. You solved the puzzle. You know what they're doing. You've brought this information to the Most High God and Goddess, Mother, Father, Divine, creators of all that is. These people are going to be the new fodder, according to God. They will not have another relationship with a battery, which is a star or a sun. No more contracting for devils and angels. That ain't going to happen. It was forbidden in the first place. Every scientific genetically modified experiment that this curator has done over the genetics of God's family, the chosen ones, those who he accepted in the previous state of judgment, you know, they're in trouble. They're going to be recycled. God is reclaiming the genetics that had been hijacked and then mutated. They're going to have no soul contract. They got to go away. There's no soul contract for them. You've solved the puzzle. King of Swords knows the truth. They will not be breaking through. They will not be coming back into the territory. We've got no strings for sex addicts. This is a commitment, a promise, an oath, because we're looking out for the health and well-being of the community, of the family, of the territory, of the collective strength of this collective family. It's got to be protected. The family trees coming from every member has to be protected. The energy, because we've got nasty Jack out here using it to do magic and bind. So they've been taking energy from fiercely potent people in the dream state or however else when they get relationship, partnership, friendships or whatever. And then they use that energy to not only bind the person whose energy it is, but then to hurt other people that this person loves. And then they blame them in the spiritual courts of doing that. And then they get them deceitfully convicted. And then they claim everything that they are energetically entwined with, which is everything that they have. Unsatisfied. So we're unsatisfied with the way things have been going. This is a terrible thing. Everybody had to come together and find out, okay, what is the problem? What caused this? We got the Five of Pentacles here. Somebody's losing everything because they're a third party hoe bag. They're getting arrested. They're at the police station. Every pregnancy that's coming forward in this new chapter will be born with talent. It will not be a shady reflection of the devil. They will be born with talent. They will be able to manage their temple, their frequency, their waters, their mind, their emotions. We're not going to be mating with the devil and then having these callous, lookalikes that don't have the capacity to feel for anybody, anything. They're just greedy, needy. So you've got a King of Pentacles in the reverse. Financially inept. They didn't earn a damn thing. It was all a freaking show and illusion. This person presented themselves as a false flame and then abandoned that angel. Threw them in the trash. And now they're getting thrown in the trash. Now they're in their feels. Now they're starting to discover what it felt like. You've ascended and you're getting a new family. It was promised. Divine Mother stated that because you are who you are, you're valuable, priceless. But these guys have been harvesting the energy and selling it for profit, treating the priceless, irreplaceable people, these fiercely rooted and highly crowned and honored people. They've been trapping them in contracts, using these contracts to abuse people. So now they're being let go. They've got to change. Yeah, their values were all about money. It was just too wrong. So you've ascended past that. You're getting a new beginning because the value system was just too far. It was too far different. They're being let go. You don't have to serve them. You don't have to serve them. They get to go become what it was they had assumed they were by stealing your energy and wearing it, by pretending. So now they don't get attached to your energy. They have to actually go do the work to become that. And they're broken and shattered about it. But I don't think it's just going to be that easy. It's not like they're going to be out there just becoming that. They actually have to go through the trials and the tribulations. They actually have to face impossibility and depression. They have to get out of bed and go to work, even though the one thing they want to do most desperately is to stay in bed, if they even get to have a bed. It was not very nice, man. Mistakes. They made mistakes. So we got trickery and fraud. Everybody's gossiping about these karmic ties and how they were making profit. We don't miss them at all. Fire sign is unavailable. Move on. Absolutely not. These people made mistakes and they wish they could right their wrongs, but they can't. They just can't. Very swiftly, they moved against a powerful divine feminine, and they were trying to get gain. They wanted to be seen as this powerful divine feminine. There is confession happening here. We got just a few months. This could be over by spring. You never gave up hope. You're fiercely independent. You're fiercely independent, awaiting patiently your true divine masculine. You're not dealing with these punks, punk ass bitches. You're not dealing with them. Absolutely not. Move on. So you got your eyes on the prize. This Four of Wands community celebration, you know. You've got memories of people promising happy endings, but then harvesting and destroying the family tree. Tearing down the damn tree. Tearing down the stabilizer. The one who is rooted with crown in the heaven. They tore the freaking tree down and dressed up a copycat in the energy. They dressed up a copycat who had no roots and no crown. And they gave them the status of such things. The snake tormented the true. There's no more time. It's not that it's too late for them to take action. It's like, no, we're out of time. We could have exited time. Like, we may no longer be part of time. Whoever these people are, you are protected. Air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius is a liar. They gambled with you and there's no more time. You're exiting time. You're leaving. They cannot trap you here anymore. There's an understanding of what it is they've been doing to you, and they're not able to separate you from love. They were not able to. You still are love, and not only are you love, you're powerful, potent love, determined to stay rooted, determined to stay connected to source, determined to hold your community, your foundation, your sacred space stable, settled. So you get to move forward. You're doing everything that you're supposed to do, even while you have a hellacious grouping of folks out here trying to tear you down. These egoic, yeah, they had no appreciation for beauty or the beauty that you offered. Even the beauty that they were able to steal, they wore it, but they still went out there and produced themselves and presented themselves as a prostitute. They have disagreements about responsibilities. They wanted to escape those responsibilities. They didn't want to have responsibility. Now they don't know what to do. They want forgiveness for these habitual patterns that they will never ever change. They lied on you. These dishonest people lied about you and your ability to be reunited, but you have mended the connection, and these ones are being held back because they have no roots, they have no flowers, they're not rooted, they're not balanced, they're not temperance, they're out here without they're not grounded, they're not settled or stable, they don't know themselves, they're just out there spreading their legs, gathering energy. Now they're overwhelmed because it was an unexpected outcome. Look at her little black fingernails and her little wide-brimmed hat. Oh, she's privileged. She's got status. And she's like, oh no, what do you mean my sex magic didn't work? Well, what the hell? People are talking. They've been found guilty and unworthy. They sabotage their own selves by trying to sabotage you. And now they're absent. They're going to be absent from your destiny, from your path. And maybe they don't even get one. They're confused. They could be in solitary confinement. They can't get into your space. They've missed their opportunity for a future. And there's unfinished business for the passion project. Somebody may want to have a conversation with you. You love yourself. Yeah, they really messed up, man. I don't know why they chose to do that, except that somebody must have, I don't know, they got twisted freaking mental body or whatever. They don't have common sense. They don't have common sense. Common sense. I mean, the golden rule is part of common sense. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. You know, and unfortunately for the stars and the suns, we have found that when we give love, we get more brutality. The more love we give, the greater the brutality. It's weird. That's the devil and the angel forbidden connection. It's not supposed to be that way. Now, this was a competition, but the competition, as far as my understanding goes, was between two devils and two twin flames. They were supposed to say, okay, which one is greater? Right? Well, you got these devils coming in and tearing down the twin flames because that's the only way that they can actually win. They call it competition, but what it was cheating, thieving, deceiving, and red rumming people, premeditated. And, you know, that was no competition. It was straight up deceit and brutalization. They worshipped money. They're spinning in their mental body. They're going in a downward spiral. They're headed towards South Node, which is where they belong, because they don't have a crown. They don't have light, high vibrational thoughts. They're going back. Earth sign is Mercury in Mercury retrograde, so they're going back. And we've got an encounter, some kind of an encounter here. You have an encounter. It could be a secret. You're meeting by chance. So the earth sign is going back. You've got a secret encounter coming up, an exit plan. So it could be that this is an exit plan. Whenever you actually encounter each other, you're going to go boom, boom, out go the lights, or boom, boom, into the limitless whatever. The Hermit is here shining their light on situations. And the walls are closing in on the backstabber. You're not dealing with the backstabber. Those deceivers, those mind game, love bombing. They're getting divorced out for playing the over and back rule, the half court rule. And they did not reciprocate anything at all. They just took, and caused a great deal of suffering while being serviced by those who were offering reward for doing the work. They never did the work. They took from people who were. So they've got a double whammy right there. Number one, they premeditatively stole the life and the privileges of another. And number two, they presented themselves as worthy and then received benefit for doing the work of the stolen life. So this is really big time. Bad deceit. And look at them there. They're looking so pretty, looking so innocent, right? Yeah. They're getting divorced out because they were lying, cheating, and stealing. The secret to their success was somebody else's soul. So the Queen of Cups has turned her heart off when it comes to these ones to Casanova. They're under heartbreak. They're drinking to cope with it. This shady little mask wearer is out there like, oh, they got to travel soon. They got to get off the planet. They got to go somewhere else. I don't know what time zone, timeline, dimension, or whatever. God's got limitless numbers of universes out there. He could put them anywhere he wants to. They're getting no soul contract with the divine, and no longer will they ever feed it or feed into it or be fed by it. Nope. That was a promise by God. Their cup is going to remain empty. They partied hard. They had a great time while you suffered, while they drew off of your efforts, while they took credit for your art, for your creations. They presented themselves as you, took credit for your work, and now their cup is going to be forever empty, no contract at all. They're swearing that they're going to get back in. These are professional agent smiths. They use the medicines as connectors and bridges. This is a big thing, and I don't know if it's because there's nanobots or there's graphene or something in there that allows their technology to utilize it as a bridge. This is dangerous. They're very excited about tapping into the soprano dimensional realms, the higher dimensional spaces, using these medicines. So I certainly hope that the Most High Mother, Father, God, Goddess, creators of all that is, has a solution for this deceit. Yeah, so they've lost. King of Swords is here. He's making certain that these ones never break through the barriers. They will not be coming through. There will be no strings attached with sex addicts. We are here committed to the health and well-being of our personal to our personal life, our personal family, and the collective family. We're looking out for health issues. Their health issues have arisen. We've got some serious problems, and we're unsatisfied with the way those problems are going. These people they have lost you. They're being disconnected from you. And it could be that you have been feeling like you have been abandoned, but you're getting a greater connection coming in. It's about ready to arrive. Your adversary is in a 5 of Pentacles. Because you're not dealing with the reflection anymore. They're getting cut off. They're not able to mimic you. They're not able to present as you. This is a third party Jezebel energy harvester. They're going to jail for this because all of the pregnancies, all of the new humanity will have natural talent born from two that have natural talent. No more angel and devil. No more angel giving life to the cruelty of a devil that lacks empathy. They cannot be empowered by the blood of an angel. They're evil. They don't care for life. They worship death. They cannot use the power and the source connection of an angel to fuel their malicious deeds of wanting to exterminate others. They can't have it. And it's not a punishment, it's a protection. Of course, they'll paint it as cruelty because, they're going to insist that, the divine should still serve them, But we're not dealing with people who are neglectful. These new children will have natural born talent to recognize the deceit of Jezebel Gigolo. They will not step into these traps of neglect. They will have the natural born talent, the soul memory of the challenges that you have overcome. You've walked an impossible life path to a resurrection and an ascension. Everything that your soul and your mind and your everything has endured and overcome will be birthed into as a natural talent. The children that come forth from you in this new chapter, they will not be dealing with these neglectful practices. There's no reason for them to be neglected ever. They will not be neglected. They will recognize the signature of such, and they will get it out of here if it ever attempts to come in. We've got King of Pentacles is losing everything. This is just a greedy thief, a false flame, an antichrist who uses words of love and connection as weapons of war. This is a proxy war where civilians suffer. Where civilians' energy is tapped, tagged, utilized in a war of greater governing systems. But it is the civilians who supply the energy, and it is also the civilians that suffer in a proxy war. And that's what we've got going on here. But you survived. God resurrected you and led you into an ascension, and you're getting a new beginning. Because the value system of those of the previous chapter and you is just too different. It's too different. So you're moving forward. You're tired. Hitler, as far as I understand, was ethnically cleansing. Okay, this isn't about ethnics. As far as I know, the new territory is the Rainbow Tribe. It's got everybody. It's got the indigenous natives from the Americas that were deceitfully convicted and bound. It's got the Buffalo Soldiers, who these white men are very, very
disrespectful with their verbiage, so I just won't say what they say. But, and then we've got, you know, our samurais, which have been fighting very seriously on behalf of the living. We've got lots of different cultures and ethnicities that are one family. So it's not about Hitler's time. It isn't about that at all. It's about protecting the soul of the family, the children that come from it, the planetary stabilizers that are deeply rooted into the shadow and highly crowned and honored in the heavens, holding planetary stabilization here in the middle ground. You got these little leeches, these little parasites, these little things that want to come in, these little, what do they call them? The beetles, the bark beetles want to come in and eat the tree. Excuse me, you can't have a freaking bark beetle in your forest if you want to have a healthy forest. It's simple. People get all wrapped up in their emotional body about it, and it's a simple fact. If you want a healthy forest, you can't have any bark beetles in the forest munching on the trees. Yes, and when all tribes of God become one, then they work together without prejudice, with honor, love, and respect, then stuff like this doesn't happen. Forests aren't destroyed. And the children continue to be born with special gifts that can assist in this realm becoming the second sun, highly vibrant and beautiful. People get it twisted. And they allow fear to guide them in their brain, in their rhetoric, and they just spin with it until they got to do something terrible to somebody, you know, because they lack understanding and they don't have the capacity to even try. It's terrible. So we got somebody's in a 9 of Swords, depression. They're in a nightmare. They're seeking help. Oh no, they fell in the trap that you set for them. Or maybe they're just bummed out because your prayers were heard. So this old friend, this long ago forgotten person, yeah, little schmuck. What a schmuck. They're being let go. And whatever their feminine that was dressing up in your energy, they're bummed out. They're really bummed out because they can't tap into you anymore. Now they got to go hide, or they got to go try to, you know, harvest energy. They got to go try to get a, you know, another notch in that headboard so that they can gather that energy up because they can't take yours anymore. They're being let go. It could be that they're being let go because of their habitual pattern of sexing everybody. You know, it's like hypersexualization of everything and everybody. I think these people probably had sex with fruit, with plants. I mean, I know of at least one that did that. It's disturbing. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. This lack of self-control. There's no self-control. They're reaching out, trying to connect to love, and love is eluding them. Love is eluding them because they're deceptive. They're trickery. They're fraud. They get a sexual encounter and then they sacrifice their person and they're like, ew, I'm so sexy. I'm so beautiful. And it's like, oh no, this is bad. We don't miss that. No, 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 no. We do not miss that. We got a fire sign. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Could be this person here. You know, we got King of Swords here too. Take it as it resonates. But they're saying move on. There's nobody available here. God has already ran through the history of the people. You know, Osiris weighed the hearts. God has ran through the history of the people to find out who has roots, who has crowns, who's actually just wearing the energy of, who belongs to the family genetically, who has been altered. You know, there's been a lot of investigation happening over the last 2 years. Incredible, intense investigation. I imagine you are, Monique. Yeah, we all are.
It's been terrible. So we got, these people were out for quick gains. They wanted to make quick, petty gains. They're saying they miss this fierce, independent woman. We've got confessions coming in. Patience, just a few more months before you're going to come into this union that you had hoped for. You haven't given up. We've got struggle. So these people, they're hoping that they can get quick petty gains by saying that they miss you, fierce independent woman. Or do what you need to do with the genders, please. This is energy. They may want to come in and offer a confession to get into the energy, okay? Because it looks to me like their hope is to bring struggle to unions once more. If they can get your forgiveness and get the permission to stay within the territory, then that means they're present and that they have the opportunity to marry into the clan and then to once again pollute the strength and the purity of those family trees. The thing is that these children, they got to be born from the people who actually managed themselves well while under severe traumatizing duress. Those people who are successful despite the plethora, the high numbers of people who were working to ensure that you would never be successful. You still overcame and you still were successful. And these are the seeds that, as far as I can tell, God wants in the next generation of humanity. You're faithful. You prefer love. You want to be that. You want to carry that energy. You don't want to go out there and pray for blood on anybody. You prefer not to deal with it. I myself, I'm a little upset that our new foundation keepers even have to go there, you know? It upsets me that they have to take on the energy and do this task of eliminating the threat from the territory, you know? Because it's brutal. And our divine masculines deserve better. They deserve ease and grace. Everybody's been through too much. So we've got this homecoming, and you have memories over happy endings, promises of happy endings within the territory. Where you're breaking up with those who had bound people with contracts, and whether they be visual or false, you know, in the dream space, these false connections that never manifested in the 3D. These heavenly connections that never came into the 3D. We had deceit going on over there. These priests were marrying people deceitfully, and then they were never showing up for the relationship. They were just draining the account, taking the inheritance, spending the wealth, and leaving the contracted one alone in the 3D space without the wealth that they had coming to them. It's a freaking... So they're breaking up with that. Those people that were binding others with these contracts and then leaving them with troubles and depression. This is a snake, a lying ass snake that was sacrificing purity, the roses, and turning them into a street exhibit, filming it, and then broadcasting it throughout the galaxy as the lifetime story of Earth Woman. Everybody was getting off really big on this prostitution ring and the abuses that were happening to her. You are protected from an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, who is a liar. They gambled with you, and now there's no more time. It could be that you are leaving time. They cannot trap you here. You get to move forward. You get to advance. You may be one of the new watchers within this realm of time. They can't trap you here. They were tempted by the snake. There's no more time for them. You're protected. They gambled you. They contracted with you, and they never showed up in the 3D. They've been sacrificing you over and over and over again throughout the centuries while presenting themselves as you. This is a lying sack of crap. This is a lying sack of crap that did it for profit. They trapped you. This is somebody that is in a leadership role here in the 3D, and they're trying to present themselves as some freaking savior, and they're not. They are a lowlife, a huge, lying lowlife, red ramming thief that you escaped. They made life very rough for you. They did not treat you right. The truth has set you free, and they're grieving here, seeking forgiveness for leaving you in the dark, not serving your needs. They took everything from you that you had earned. You had plenty, more than enough. They're out there pretending they're a leader of some freaking country, some world leader, and they're not that. They tapped you and drained you nearly for everything that you are. But God saw you down there shining, praying, and resurrected you, and then claimed you. All that you are belongs to God, and whoever He has determined will be your next spouse. You're already connected. And they know the truth about sex addiction, floozies, gigolos, whatever. Harvesting from the family. They want forgiveness for leaving your life in pieces, for burning you. They burned you many times. You wrote a book about love, and they burned you for writing a book about love, for being love. They burned you. Now they're having anxiety because they're a childish little dirtbag making life hard for the diamond, the beauty of the world. This is ending. This relationship with the dark side, making promises of love, using intimate encounters, sacred connections, and proper words of love to make promises, to gain contracts, to bleed people dry. It's ending. No more devils, no more angels. Yeah, because they put too many damn angels in this rabbit hole. Crushed. Everything they built on that energy is crumbling. You're going to see it all falling apart. Now, we got folks out there claiming that they're super profitable. They are bringing in all this kind of money, but yet they're closing programs down and draining programs. And now they're going after people who who didn't pay bills or weren't able to pay bills, or now they're claiming people's properties and such. And that's because there's no more money. They've lost everything. They're not who they say they are. They're clinging to the storyline, the facade. They got caught up in a blind spot. They were a weed seed. Now they're going to be alone. They're guilty of leaving you alone. They're guilty of harvesting all of your wealth from you, unaliving you, sacrificing you into a cycle of suffering, and then leaving you there alone. Now they're unable to untangle themselves from this truth, and you're leaving. You're leaving them. Everything that you no longer need is falling apart to make room for the love that you deserve. It's been a long road of dealing with these nasty jacks and their Jezebels, playing games with love, using words of love, intimate encounters, sacred sexual connections as weapons of war to destroy family, to destroy the mind and the heart of the mother. And, at the same time, they were chemically castrating the masculines and then manipulating them to have feelings that aren't natural. They got to stay distant. They got to stay away from you. They're drowning. They're going under. And we've got this lion here being fierce and aggressive. Apparently, this person is the daughter of a lion. And this person, this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, promised a happy ending, and they were the devil. They red-rummed over and over and over again this person that they promised a happy ending to, this person that they kept sacrificing and replacing with other people, dressing up these other people in this energy, hurting others with the energy, and saying that it was the one that they contracted with. It was a nasty, dirty lie. From a filthy piece of shit claiming to be a responsible leader. Nothing more than a filthy red rumming thief who lacks communication skills. So we got a fake spiritualist here having an ego death. They worship money. They've got to go back. This is an earth sign, or maybe they have to go back to earth. Maybe they have to go to a place on earth that is going to be void of animals, of life. They poisoned everything. They poisoned everything. So they may have to go live in that environment because that was what they intended for others. They may have to experience that. And it's not because this fiercely independent woman or this King of Swords is making it happen, or that God is even making it happen. That was their intention for the world. And God said that people's intention will be the gift. The golden rule. Are you okay, Monique? So it's announced here. It's announced here. The star seeds that had been kept in the freaking dark, trapped. They're the star seeds. They've got an exit plan. They're going to be encountering their person soon. It's going to be announced. It is announced. You are a star seed. All of the star seeds are coming together. Look, they tried to keep you hidden. They tried to keep you buried in suffering. They wanted you to be claiming all of these negative thought forms that they were flowing through you. And they wanted your energy to be imprinted with their disgusting filth that they kept trying to stick to you. But because you are happy and because you do your shadow work and you've healed your triggers and you've faced your traumas and your wounds, you've licked them all, visited them, cleaned them up multiple times to make sure that you're steady and stable, these people can't stick squat to you. And now it's a problem. It's a problem because it's obvious that you're a star seed. You're doing everything that you needed to do, and it's time for you to advance, to move forward. They can't trap you here and continue to feed on you. So the Hermit is here. And the walls are closing in. We're not dealing with any mind game, love bombing, backstabbing, hypocrites, shadow demons. Shadow demons. They go over into the shadows, they make their sacrifices, and then they come back into the light and pretend that they are that they have no roots. They're not the tree. They're not the tree. They're dressing up in the energy of somebody else's tree. It's not their tree. They don't even have the roots. The shadow demon might claim that the roots are there, dressing them up in the memories of the crown, but it's all an illusion. It's not real. So they're getting divorced out. They're getting divorced out because they never gave anything back. They just stole. They took from others and presented themselves as worthy. Secrets. That was their secret to success. So the Queen of Cups is in the reverse. And to me, the way that I'm reading that is that the Divine Feminine has turned their back on this. She knows very well that it's her womb, that where life comes from. that they're after. They want that energy. They want the spiritual inheritance that's allotted for every life that moves through that portal. That God has set aside for every life that's moving through this portal. And you got these folks out there thinking they're entitled to it. Casanova is having a heartbreak, drinking to cope. This mask wearer is drinking to cope. You've solved the puzzle. You know what they were doing. You aren't afraid to move forward. They have to leave. They got to get off the planet. They got to go. I don't know where they're going. I don't know where God's sending them. But that's going to be away from you. There's no more soul contracts with them. Their cup will be empty. They have nothing to offer. They have nothing to offer the unicorn. They have nothing to offer the unicorn. The only thing that they did for the unicorn was they took 10 of Pentacles and they stuck 10 of Swords in you over and over and over again. Spirit said that over and over and over again, they forced you to release your honor, to give up your honor by forcing you to serve the snake. As by sacrificing you and forcing you to serve the snake, they made you give up your honor while they pretended, dressing up in your energy, to be you. But they're egotistical, red-rumming thieves. And when I see them out there, you can see them glowing in a special way. That's them wearing the energy of a recent sacrifice. It's disturbing because they're so freaking happy about it. Their cup will remain empty. They will have no more soul contracts with the rainbow covenant holders of God's family. Regardless of their ethnic background, we are all the same on the inside. We're members of God's family. We hold this sacred connection and vow to support life. Those who are not worshiping death, but they're rooted in the shadow, crowned in the light, stable in the middle ground. Now, you know, the area of those roots, where the shadow is, where those roots are, the shadow depends on the messaging, on the nurturing, on the nutrition that it receives from the crown. So what is received from above goes into the below. It's the connector, it's the bridge, it's the stabilizer. And everybody's out here chopping down trees. Rather than creating them. Thinking that's the way to do it. So King of Swords has got his sword up. Nobody will be breaking through. There's no more strings with those who are sex addicted. This is a commitment, a pledge, a promise. We're looking out for the health of the community, not just the singular or the family, but the big picture. We've got the chiefs, so the white chiefs and the red chiefs of the indigenous culture. Their job is to make certain that the foundation is clear, is safe, is very stable, and that it has everything available to it so that the people, the family, will be able to live their lives, have their communities, have their relationships, and be supportive of each other. So these ones are jealous. They've lost. They've lost here. They were unsatisfied with the way things were going. They thought that to become a prostitute was the way to make gain, and they've lost. They're jealous of you. You're no longer dealing with these trolls, with these reflections. They're in a 5 of Pentacles energy. These third-party hoe bags, they're going to the police station. They're going to get arrested. The children that are born in this territory, in this foundation, will have natural-born talents. They will be imbued with all of the victories that you have experienced here. They will be naturally infused and imbued with those powers and those knowings, those sensitivities to those energies, those specific energies that you have become so accustomed to balancing and harmonizing within your system. There will be no neglect.
No more people who intend to steal and neglect will be permitted into this territory. They will need to stay in their own lane. We're not allowing them in. We're not going to provide them services. We're not going to play games. Our lives are serious business. The stability of our future and the children of it are serious. And again, it's not about religion or culture or any of that. It's about soul harvesting and stealing the spiritual inheritance that the Most High God and Goddess have set aside for every life that moves through the power of the womb, the portal for life. And you got these nasty jacks out here and their Jezebel friends who've been harvesting that. It's an enemy to life, to God. They've been stealing directly from the Creator. They can't be permitted here. They can't be permitted to blend into the family, to come in with the intention of destroying the tree. They're triggered. They're losing all their pentacles. It was all yours anyway. These are false flames, fashion witches, and you're tired of them. You're tired of them. So they're being removed to make room for the love that you deserve. You deserve a break. You deserve a break from being constantly effed with by jealous, envious witchery who refuses to go add value to their own soul by doing the work that you're doing. They're in a nightmare. They might be shouting out for help. It's too late. They're gone. They got to go out. If they wanted your reward, they got to go walk your path. And it's not vengeance as so much as a return of the intention. If they want to hurt, steal, frame, lie, cheat, destroy, in order to gain the reward that you have worked so hard to create by being temperance, love, care, compassion, then they got to go walk the walk that you went through and try to become that. And the only way that we can really learn that is through suffering, right? So this forgotten person is in a trap. This person intended to gain a utopia off of the suffering of divine feminine. They're being let go. For being a hoe. They don't get to go up into this space and place. They're a hoe. They have no value for their own self or their own soul. They don't care. They're a freaking vampire. They're being let go because they're a freaking vampire, a sexual vampire. I'm so grateful that the King of Swords knows, Divine Masculine knows the truth of it. There's no more strings, no more connections, no more cords, no more invitations to come in for a fling. Oh, it's just a fling. It's just a casual little fling. No, man. It's the entirety of the family tree that is going to support the generations to come from your seed. It's important. It requires great responsibility, personal responsibility, vows, dedication, honor. Damn. So we got trickery here. We got trickery here. People are gossiping about these karmic ties. We don't miss them. Fire sign could be fiercely independent, feminine, masculine, telling them to move on. It's a waste of time. It's over. We're not dealing with this anymore. People who embody the essence of the sun in them, they're telling them to move on. You're no longer going to feed on our light. We're no longer going to feed you. You're on your own. I heard Divine Masculine actually say that to somebody. I don't know who they were talking to. I imagine it was a feminine. But he's told her, or him, or whatever,
that they were no longer going to feed them, that they were on their own. So it looks like, I don't know, looks like somebody changed their mind. They decided that, you know, worshiping death wasn't the best thing to pour your life force into. So they're trying to reach out for love. Love is avoiding them. They made mistakes. They're a troll. They're trolling you. They might be trolling you. Conspiracy theory. They're trolling you. They're telling stories about you. They're lying. They're making up stuff. Catfish, whatever. This is what they do for jobs. They F people in the physical, in the sexual way, and then they F people over with this catfishing bullshit, trying to destroy reputations and lives. It's like they're just vile little creatures. There's nothing beneficial to it. Nothing at all. There's no contribution in a good way to any life coming forward from the territory if this is in there. All that it will do is destroy everything and take the value out, strip the value out, and leave it nothing. Leave it a freaking wasteland. Red flags in the reverse. So very swiftly, they're looking for petty gains. They're coming up with a fiercely independent woman. I miss you. They may want to come in and confess something. Be patient. Just a few more months are coming to those who wait. They're hoping that they can bring struggle to you. They're ignoring the red flags. So we've got a conspiracy theorist troll out there telling stories about you. This karmic bullshit artist. They're out there gossiping with their storyline right now. Did you hear so-and-so did this? Did you hear so-and-so did this? Yeah, fire sign said, get the F out. You're a cult-leading POS thief, love bombing, gaslighting, doing the very least to gain the very most by using and abusing and creating trauma bonds. These people, this fiercely independent, highly bright and fiercely shadow, feminine and masculine, take it as it resonates. They don't want this shit for their family. They don't want this shit for the children of this generation or any generation of the territory. Absolutely not. So yes, it's going to appear fierce. It will be very fierce. This happened last cycle. This person was trying to save the souls of people, and they brutalized this person. They tortured this person. They burned them alive over and over and over again for such a simple thing as writing a book about love and sharing it with the community. The church burned them alive. Trauma bonds to try to subjugate, get this person to fall at their feet and beg them for mercy, but they're not God. By doing this to her, they were doing it to God, the one that they so flashy in their little threads and their little caps and shit proclaim themselves to be God's messengers. They burned the mother alive over and over again. They're triggered by your ability to take care of yourself. You're an influencer. You're an oracle. They wanted to knock you out, silence your voice, dim your shine, or just absorb it altogether. They still do. They want to come and do a 3D thing and consume you. They want to drink the blood, eat the flesh, become like Christ, because that's what you are. This narcissist wants to feed on you. This Gemini, Libra, Aquarius wants to consume you, to be seen just like you. They want to do the most for somebody who cares the least. They want the privilege of an empath, a legend. It could be that the empaths are now moving into a status of privilege because they are legends. They've got the land back. The land is back. The land is going to the original people. All of these hybrids, these Lucy's, these genetically modified experiments are getting recycled. God is reclaiming the genetics of his family, and he's letting go of the mutation. The land is going back to the indigenous people of various cultures. And these bitches can go get fucked. Excuse my language. because you have a billionaire status. They've been broadcasting the lifetime story of Earth Woman throughout the galaxy for centuries. These feral people. You've earned a billionaire status by dealing with these feral people. Are you all getting along okay out there? You all getting along all right? What's going on? You fighting? Thank you, Monique. You're so sweet. What the hell is that? I have no idea what that means. I'm going to hide that one. I have no idea what that means. Well, it had to be done eventually, I guess. Every 30,000 years, apparently, we go through a total reset where they come in and then they evaluate life, because apparently everybody has to be tested. And, you know, lots of people won't understand that, especially if they get hung up on the suffering of it. Everybody has to be tested. Those who choose to cause suffering for others, and those who choose to heal from it without contributing more to it. And those who have the seeds, those who have been able to crack the seeds or crack the code that was allowing this new beginning. So you catalysts, you know, you sparks, your light has made this shift possible. You know, and it could be considered also serendipity, because nobody really expected it to happen this way. They really didn't see this. It's like God activated something in everybody, like right at the last minute, and it was like boom. Then it was like, oh, what the heck is that? And then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my God, they had no idea. But you know, that's why God is God. That's why Goddess is Goddess. They don't tell the enemy what they're doing or what they have in their arsenal. And they don't let us know all the time either, because if you're like me, you don't keep secrets. And God knows that about me. I don't keep secrets. So I just talk. I process out loud. I process silently. And I process all the time. So that's why Goddess only let me know what I need to know when I need to know it. And they only let me share with you what you need to know when you need to know it. And that's that. And you got people out here insisting on more clarity, on more information. I'm like, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go talk to God. Right? Don't be getting mad at me. I mean, you got to go talk to God. If you're demanding more messaging, more truth, then you're going to have to go make your own connection and try to get God to give that to you, because I'm only permitted to do what I'm able to do. That's it. But I like to share it with you, because the messaging that Spirit shares with me helps me. So it is my intention to help others by sharing what I am given. But I think that maybe we've taken this one as far as we can go. I do hope that it brings clarity to something that you already intuitively knew. Oh, is that, yeah, or come on. All right, everyone. I'm out for a little while. I find that these lives are kind of fun, because you don't have to wait forever for it to upload or something. It's like it uploads, it processes differently. My apologies if there were any slanderous or angry or perverted, you know, disrespectful comments on here. When I get to the actual computer, I'll pull that up and look at the transcript, and I'll go ahead and hide from the channel those people who were behaving in such a way. Thank you for your patience and your consideration and sharing your presence here. Thanks, everybody. See you on the next one. Bye.